So, you're probably thinking I'm doing a commentary on some random YouTube user who goes by the name of Eddy. Well, I lied. I'm actually doing a commentary on Rhodes the Spud.
He was exiled this time to the much more remote island of St. Helena in the middle of the Atlantic, where he died in 1825.
Actually, Napoleon died in 1821. Get your facts straight, you goober. Gosh.
Somewhere, someone special just for me. Somewhere, someone special must be. Somewhere, someone special just for me. Somewhere, someone special must be. Somebody made for me.
Okay, so I lied about lying. Hey all, Youngblood Fantasy 91 here, back with another commentary for you wonderful people. As many of you faithful viewers know, I am an active participant in the commentary group known as Bunch of Pseudo-Intellectuals, or BOP for short. Though honestly, calling it a commentary group is a bit of an oversimplification when you actually scroll through their videos and discover BOP also does Let's Plays. Check out Town of Salem if you're interested. Anyways, I personally believe BOP is a successful group channel, not just because of the good reception that they receive from a majority of their viewership, but also because of the view counts on many of their videos. A quick glance of their most popular videos demonstrates empirically that many of their group commentary efforts reached quadruple digits. Of course, that does not mean BOP is this gigantic YouTube juggernaut, but it implies BOP has the ability to create engaging content. It also helps that a majority, if not all BOP members are interesting people, easy to talk to, and are all around great friends. The camaraderie is apparent, as well as their teamwork and understanding. Because BOP appears to be influential in the current incarnation of the commentary community, many other users attempted to emulate the success of the group by creating rival commentary groups. Unfortunately, most of them have failed. However, some are gaining momentum, like the Federation of the Exalted. I know, such a royal and pompous name, jeez. Which consists of commentators like Quote Commentaries, 8363MTR, Dynamo Rocks for Sure, and Zumpano, who are all okay to decent in terms of content creation. They also want to work in conjunction with some people in BOP to ensure they are successful in what they do. The B team also exists, although they have not created any content yet. We'll see if they do well. But we cannot forget the pinnacle of all rival commentary groups, the great crown jewel of quality known as the Confederation of Independent Commentators, or CIC for short. Now, not only is the name of the group a literal oxymoron, but it also seems to be a hodgepodge of users that all have, and I am sorry to say this, created poor content on their respective channels. But hey, let's be a bit optimistic. I'm sure they will last very long and... oh. But never fear, in their place came the mighty group known as Woody's Wood, a clever name, which consists of users that, well, for the most part, created inferior content, at least in my opinion anyway. This group was the brainchild of sage commentator Eddy the Scammer, who has already voiced his opinion on Ryan Rhino Mills and how he is an alleged cancer of the commentary community. Because Ryan has a decent following and actually puts effort into making his videos. How horrible of him. And because Ryan was instrumental in the creation of BOP, by the transitive property, BOP is the enemy and must be destroyed. Eddy's logic is airtight here. It gets better. Eddy made a video saying he will join the defunct CIC, only to be faced with criticism. Because Eddy overreacted to the comments, the video was deleted, but Google never forgets, and the comment threads still exist. One comment in particular immediately grabbed my attention. This comment was left by the head honcho of conservative commentaries, Berg Productions, who I already tackled in a previous video. If you have seen it, you should know that Berg has major trouble forming coherent thoughts and actually making sense. Well, Berg decided to give me a recommendation because clearly he knows better than I in terms of what to do with my content and how to comport myself in the commentary community. Here is what his comment reads. Finally, a channel that I can enjoy like the Confederacy of Independent Commentators. It's about time bunch of pseudo-intellectuals has some competition. Without competition, there is no entertainment. Just like without a YouTube war nor trolls, where's the entertainment? CIC could have stood for Community of Independent Cartoonists, but Confederacy of Independent Commentators will be good. My only hope is that Youngblood Fantasy 91, that's me, can get out of BOP and join CIC. Youngblood was a much better independent commentator than a commentator in Bop. We'll see how Youngblood reacts if he has time. As for you, Eddy the Scammer, I would like to see you come back in the commentary community, although being an animator suits you best. That's my opinion. See, I would have left that comment alone because Berg Productions tends to leave silly comments frequently, but the fact that he called me out by name over the silliness kind of brought me into the matter without any warning. Besides, he asked for me to react, and, well, I think I gave him what he requested. Therefore, I responded with my own comment, which, tilde, essentially says that I would rather be with a group of individuals that I could trust and know can create quality content than a bunch of people that seems to have no drive and consists of users that already have poor track records. In addition, if I was better independent, I should not be asked to join CIC, since that would mean I would declare my allegiance to them. After some time, more people came into the thread, including MrSirRaven, who also deftly countered Berg. This in turn inspired Eddy the Scammer to get defensive and respond by asking why we're blindly bashing the group, when Raven never did. All he did was criticize Berg's ridiculous wording in the original comment. This prompted me to respond to Eddy with one simple statement. Look at the roster of people involved in the group and then reevaluate your statement. This simple response to Eddy got him so livid that he moved to his alternate channel and initiated a tirade against me, calling me a jackass and noting that Blue Flame wasn't considered a bad commentator. And yes, he is not the worst, but I do recall him overreacting to Ryan and others at times, which caused general confusion and annoyance among people in Bop and elsewhere. However, he is not the worst example. Remember, this was in response to a singular comment I made. I did not constantly spam the thread with my comments, or called anyone names, or immaturely dismissed people's arguments. I stated my counterpoints and left it at that, even though most of what I said was addressed to Berg anyways, who never responded in the first place. After Raven left several more comments about Eddy's inability to read, it seemed the argument died down. Or did it? Nope, after some time, Eddy decided to make a 7-minute video on me, calling me out as a jackass and someone who is contributing to the cancer of the community, apparently. Never mind the fact that Raven left more comments and criticism towards Eddy. Apparently, I'm the monster, and I'm the one calling people spawns of Satan, even though Eddy is obviously hallucinating. And this is where our commentary finally starts. This is Eddy's 7-minute tirade on me, which he put as unlisted, seeing how he's too cowardly to face his critics head-on. I'll listen in and I'll see what I have to say about this nonsense.
Hey guys, Eddy the Scammer here, and I've lost all respect for Youngblood Fantasy 91.
And with that statement, I weep the tigeriest of tiger tears. Boo-hoo.
Let me tell you why. For a guy who complains about bias, he really did have some bias, which made him a hypocrite.
Bias and hypocrite are perhaps the two most overused words in this community, and throwing them around like buzzwords does not imply you know what either of them mean.
Because last night, he typed a huge wall of text,
which wasn't directed at you. It was directed at Berg, genius.
About how he would rather be in BOP than the new commentary group CIC because I don't know, the people in BOP are better in quality or whatever.
Yes, I would rather be in a group that has achieved good results in the past and have functional and stable relationships between its members. I would not want to be a part of a group that has a bunch of users who already have poor videos underneath their belt and probably fight about petty nonsense a lot of the time. In fact, your video, Eddy, is proof of why I would not join the defunct CIC, because you would probably make more videos on Ryan and other people in Bop if the slightest comment from them offends you.
I don't know, but I did read that. That comment flat out ticked me off, because Youngblood is a very smart individual.
Oh gosh, Eddy, you make me blush. I bet you say that to all the commentators.
I never knew that someone as smart as Youngblood could follow Ryan's just downright childish and retarded thoughts.
First of all, Ryan's thoughts about CIC and other commentary groups do not necessarily reflect my own, although it seems we have similar views on the matter. Second of all, I have made those points to Berg based on my own experiences and my own conclusions about other users on here who have made their own commentaries. The inclusion of people like Lance1000, who has proven his commentaries are either boring or consist of poorly written and poorly thought out points, and Futureblood, who also has trouble making good points and who has horrendous audio in his videos, indicates that the group's quality standards are not as high as Bop's. Yes, you can't say it is a foregone conclusion that the videos created by the group will suck. But again, anyone with an IQ above 90 can see the writing on the wall and might not be too confident about the group's quality standards or their ability to make engaging videos. That's what I meant by my comment, and I'm surprised I have to explain that to you as if you had zero reading comprehension skills.
About a new commentary freaking group. That is just so scummy. And if he was actually a freaking humble and likable guy, he would have said, "I'll wait and see how things go for CIC."
Oh yes, because clearly you are the paragon of humility and being understanding. When you viciously attack Ryan and Bop because you deem them as cancer in an arbitrary and biased fashion. Practice what you goddamn preach. And in addition, don't you dare dictate to me how I should act on here and what my ethics should be to you. Being humble does not mean I just sit around and sugarcoat my comments so I can please everyone who gets easily offended. I would rather be honest, especially towards a query made by Berg, who also erroneously believes he can order me around like I have no free will around here.
But no, that's not what he did. Instead, he went on and on and on
for 2 comments
about how the members are just not that good.
The comment more so applied to why Bop has more weight in the community than a nascent group which consists of people with mostly poor track records. But sure, you can spin it so it sounds like I just viciously harangued everyone in the CIC with reckless abandon. Good job misrepresenting, buddy.
They're not that good. So the freaking channel that hasn't uploaded anything, it's obviously gonna freaking suck.
Literally all I said was that you should look at the members of the group and realize that maybe they may have difficulty starting up. Maybe if you weren't so intent on trying to assassinate my character because you despise Ryan, you'd understand what I have meant.
Because these guys are the worst in the freaking bunch. I mean, you got Lance, you got freaking Futureblood, you got freaking Stocky Owl 150, and they all suck. Apparently.
Listen to me carefully, Eddie. They all have mediocre track records. Even then, dispensing with those claims, they all seem more difficult to talk to and take more things rather personally than other people. This is based on what I saw with the arguments they had with people and how they behave on both Skype and in other venues. I mean, the point of a joint group is not only to have good content, but also have cooperation. How is that going to happen if it will constantly be hampered by internal drama caused by people taking things too personally, like what you are doing right now?
And they can't make a good commentary, so this new commentary community group is gonna suck. Seriously, Youngblood, screw you. You are such a complete scumbag, and I wish you ill.
Man, the salt is pumping through your veins. Watch out, you could get atherosclerosis. But all medical puns aside, you're angry at me over literally nada. You're taking this way out of proportion, and clearly you're going to be one of many of my so-called critics that take out of context what I say and paint me as a villain because you can't be bothered to counter my points.
And you know what? I find them to be far worse. I find you to be far worse than Dark Agumon, of all people.
So, you're saying I'm far worse than someone who has made multiple sock puppet accounts, trolled unsuccessfully, and acted immature about a wide variety of issues while coping with serious personal issues that he insisted on bringing to the forefront of his conversations? Your rage is obviously blinding you. It's almost comical.
Because with Dark Agumon, he didn't earn that much respect. You, on the other hand, Youngblood, have earned your fans' respect for making commentary after commentary after commentary and making good entertainment that a whole chunk of the community enjoyed. And then you go around following Ryan's stupid, childish little freaking thoughts.
Why are you desperately trying to connect me to Ryan and Ryan alone? Ryan is not the only person who has left comments on your video trying to refute or criticize you. Have you not seen MrSirRaven's series of comments? What about other people's comments on the video that existed outside of the comment thread? I have been in Bop for about a year, and now you suddenly have a problem with me? I don't get you at all, Eddy. If you want your own commentary group to succeed, maybe you should start by actually realizing what is coming out of your mouth.
On this new community that, mind you, hasn't uploaded a thing. You judge it and just bash it because of the freaking people involved with it.
How are you able to infer this from 2 comments, sir? You're clearly being overdramatic. In addition, I am going to re-emphasize that group projects have to involve motivated and cooperative people. Users that don't possess either of those qualities will fling the group into the toilet. I have seen this happen, Eddy. I have been here for years. Don't act like you got me figured out.
That is so scummy, and I can't believe that no one has called you out for doing this kind of stupid crap.
No one did, because the claims you are making about me are fictitious and not based in reality. But you then mention a rather provocative example that not only is a major contradiction to what you said, but also really gets my afro in a bundle.
This kind of egotism is the reason why Blackbuster Critic freaking destroyed you back in 2012.
You honestly think that digging up old information from 3 years ago is going to bolster any of your delusional claims? You sound just as biased as the people that constantly attacked me all those years ago because I dared to open my mouth and state my own opinions. And yes, while I do acknowledge that I probably misstepped a couple times, at least I have the balls to admit where I flubbed, unlike you, where you mask your mistakes with vitriol toward me. What are you going to do next? Say aura? Funny how you had to drag in extremely old and irrelevant information to quote-unquote discredit me. Seems to me I have a better reputation than you do.
You blow things way out of proportion.
And this entire video you made isn't the physical definition of blowing things out of proportion?
And after seeing your behavior towards Confederacy of Independent Commentators, I agree with them.
Okay, great. I'll chalk you up to being a blind fanboy of someone who has made hour-long live streams of me 3 years ago and who seems to have zero critical thinking skills whatsoever. Good job relegating yourself to that crowd.
You do blow things way out of proportion. And I am no longer a fan of yours. And instead of watching your garbage, I am going to try to go back to CIC and try to join again.
Seeing as how the group dissolved days after you had those high ambitions, I guess my and Raven's critiques of them proved to be true. And good, unsubscribe from me. I, unlike you, don't take internet drama so bloody personally that I weep every time someone says, I lost my respect. Honestly, that phrase is also just as overused, and I feel people just use that to sound like internet tough guys, rather than actually meaning it. Your statements are nothing to me.
You're an egotistical scumbag and a hypocrite. You complain about people having bias towards stuff, and yet here you are having this bias towards a group that hasn't uploaded a thing yet.
Here we go round the merry-go-round of repetition because you said that multiple times already, and I will restate it for you. You're the one whose massive bias is showing, especially in front of Bop and Ryan. Stop flashing us, you weirdo. There are kids present.
And you only hate it for the members. That is so scummy that I am no longer a fan of yours. And honestly, I don't know how you still get this kind of respect. You wanna know why people haven't called you out, Youngblood?
Let's see, I still make good content, I have a strong following, I maintain good relationships with the majority of people, I don't succumb easily to drama or infighting, I actually bother to help people with issues and problems, I have high standards for my own videos, and I have high expectations of others. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but honestly, you seem to have missed the point of my comments so far that you're probably in Indonesia right now.
It's because your fans don't have the courage to call you out on this truly insane and idea that this new commentary group will suck just because of these select members.
Oh my god, you act as if this is rocket science. Let me spell it out for you, simpleton. These people have their own issues they seem to have zero want to resolve. If you can't understand that, then clearly your head is on backwards. And honestly, I have had many comments on previous videos where people corrected me and called me out. You're just generalizing because it's easier to do than rather actually making a valid viewpoint.
If anything, you should have been wishing them luck. That is what a good commentator would do.
Because clearly you're so wonderful at commentating and everyone should follow your recommendations and...
Regardless of who is in the group. But no, you want to use your fancy words and go on and on and on, dragging your point along about how, BOP, I would rather be in there because they don't have crappy users as members.
First of all, I use the fancy words because I know what they mean. I'm not feigning intelligence because I have an expansive lexicon. Secondly, you are not even attempting to counter my points. All you are doing is mocking what I had to say by poking at my language and restating what I wrote in a deriding tone. Good job. You are now an official Guri Gurlo X-clone since clearly you learned how to assemble your points from him.
And they actually care about their work. Has it ever occurred to you that Lance 1000 is improving? Has it ever occurred to you that Blue Flame 3500 has a huge number of fans?
Sure, maybe the both of them are improving. But A, you're not going into specifics about how they are improving, and B, even if the both of them are making demonstrable improvement, there is still room for both of them to improve still. Just because you can improve your grade in school from an F to a D does not mean you should stop there. You're still not out of the woods. Get it? Woods? Woody Woods? I'll shut up now.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with making a commentary group. So why should you?
I'm not saying that it's inherently wrong to create a group. That would invalidate the purpose of BOP, mostly, in the first place. I am saying that it's risky and ultra counterintuitive to throw people into a group where at best they can create average content and may have communication issues. Am I just supposed to conveniently ignore that so you can feel better about yourself? That's not how life works, buddy.
I also remember you saying that the people involved with CIC make mediocre commentaries. Well, that isn't your freaking excuse to just judge and assume and be biased towards this group that hasn't uploaded anything yet. You might never know. They might try something new.
Well, if you're willing to be biased as hell towards BOP despite their improvements, then I don't think you should be given the exact courtesy. And while I can concede that they may be trying something new, that does not necessarily mean they are going to be super commentators overnight. Their limitations are obvious. All I did was note their limitations. Apparently stating the obvious is offensive.
Which is why you have to wait until they upload something. Then, and only then, can you have the right to say how terrible CIC is.
Yes, I can't predict the future. That doesn't change the fact that the original person who commented on your video, Berg, recommended that I join the group just because he liked me better than when I was not in BOP. Evidently, you misconstrued what I said and ignored the context of the original thread. Maybe if you bothered to read, you wouldn't make assumptions about me.
After this video, I will never be inclined to respect you or watch your videos anymore because of this truly retarded idea that this channel will suck because of these select members. And with that, I say, screw you, young blood.
My, those were rather flattering comments. Though that makes me feel better because at least you'll skip over this video, and that way no one will have to deal with more idiotic and knee-jerk video responses from the likes of you. And that's the way it is. Yes, I am the type of person that is critical of others. As a commentator, I may say things that ultimately might offend someone. Perhaps I may come off as pretentious, self-centered, douchey, or holier-than-thou. However, despite all this, all I did was inject my thoughts into the whole matter, mainly because my username was dropped in the comments thread, and it was from the likes of someone I tussled with before. Even then, my wall of text was dedicated to Berg, and not once did I actively insult Berg, the members of the former CIC, or yourself, Eddy. The fact that you spent 7 minutes of your life unleashing this invective upon me is proof that you exaggerate, lie, and deliberately misinterpret comments just so you can validate your own prejudices about the community and certain members in it. Now, as for your newest endeavor, Woody's Wood, I will express the same concerns. A lot of the members in the group have developed poor reputations. Berg Productions made piss-poor rant videos that had a lot of holes in logic and seemed to slant towards conservative viewpoints. Future Blood still has audio issues. Dale Rockman's commentaries are meh, and I can't follow them sometimes. Same goes for 6T, but she does organize her points a little better. Though her video on Gem was ugh. And Mr. Conman's YouTube poops are
Boring around here. I'm a monster. Got a revved up teenage hand.
Finally, the Cheese Ninja, well, let's just say that if you're discussing the title of your video in the first 5 seconds of the video itself, then clearly being unprepared is your strong suit. And the fact this group already created some content means I can criticize it. But I will save that for other people who want to view what they uploaded. So there. Hopefully I didn't sound too salty in this one. Thank you for watching this video. This has been Youngblood Fantasy 91, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all on the brighter later. Good night, folks.